Pokemon Infinite Fusion is the first time in a long while where I thoroughly enjoyed a Pokemon fan game. Actually, it's one of the only fan games I've played. This game, as I'm sure you've guessed from the title and thumbnail, allows you to fuse Pokemon together. The game has over 200,000 combinations, and some even have incredibly well created sprites. The game takes place in Kanto and is based around the events of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, as well as some bits from Johto. The game has a myriad of Pokemon to choose from, ranging from Gen 1 to Gen 7. You can only imagine some of the fusion combos that are available for this game. To be honest, I've only scratched the surface, because there's a lot, as I've said earlier. However, I'd like to share the team I used while playing through the story. Truth be told, I fused a lot of mons during my playthrough, and technically, I've had a different team for almost every part of the game. For the sake of making this easier though, I'll just share my final team I used while facing the Elite Four, and one other Pokemon I added during my trip through Johto. Also, I love Pokemon fusions, and if you'd like to see more kind of content like this, let me know down below. With that though, these Pokemon will be in no particular order. Let's get into my team. So the starter Pokemon I chose, if you guys know my favorite, was Bulbasaur. Throughout my playthrough, I used Venusaur, Ivytortle, etc. But the final one I chose was a fusion of Venusaur and the best Vegeta out there, Infernape, creating Infersaur. Shoutouts to Retro Gamer for the amazing sprite work, by the way. Infersaur sports the dope type combination of grass and fire, similarly to Scovillain. It's really neat what Pokemon fusions can do for Pokemon stats, because Infersaur is a solid, speedy mixed attacker with decent bulk as well. The moveset I used was Flamethrower, Energy Ball, Earthquake, and Acrobatics. The inverted fusion of it looks interesting. Isn't auto generation amazing? This next one is definitely going to be a fan favorite for a lot of you out there. Flygon and Dragonite create Flyknight. Shoutouts to Gator8er for the sprite work. Flyknight sports the same type combination of Flygon, with Ground and Dragon. This design captures what I picture a Flygon and Dragonite fusion to be. I kid you not, the image I had in my head of it was fairly accurate to this one. It has Flygon's coloration and dope red eyes with the body of Dragonite. It also just straight up looks like a dragon, and I love the antennas as well. Stats wise, it's definitely more of a semi-speedy physical attacker, taking advantage of Dragonite's amazing physical attack stat. I'm still a tad confused on how the stats work in Infinite Fusion, so if I messed up, let me know. Regardless, Flygon and Dragonite both have good physical attack. The moveset I went with was Dragon Claw, Fire Punch, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance for setup. This dragon shreds, and I really had a fun time using it. The third fusion team member is from one of my favorite evolutions and Super Saiyan 3 Ampharos. I present to you Esros. Truth be told, Ampharos had some amazing fusions throughout my adventure, one of those being Belros, which was Ampharos and Bellossom. Shoutouts to Aimee and Frankenfurter for the sprite work as well. Esros, as you may have guessed, sports the typing of Electric and Psychic. What I really appreciate about this design is definitely the pink tails with the red orbs at the end of them. Espeon's face looks like it's ready to rumble, by the way, with that facial expression. I love the red belly as well. The moveset I gave it was Thunderbolt, Psychic, Power Gem, and Thunderwave. Esros is honestly really cute. The fourth fusion combo I went with was a combo of Weavile and Feraligatr, Wheeligator. The sprite work was created by Scut_UI. Truth be told, I was never expecting to use Weavile and Feraligatr as a fusion. But when I saw the fusion for the first time, I underestimated how badass looking this design could be. This gator looks like it prowls underwater in a river and gnaws its enemies to pieces. I love how ferocious it looks on top of the reptilian structure it has going on with it. As you would guess, Wheeligator is a physical attacker, and it does pretty well with it sporting the water and dark typing along with amazing stab. Speaking of stab, the moveset is Night Slash, Waterfall, Ice Punch, and Earthquake for coverage. This gator has a powerful moveset, and you can bet I loved every aspect of it when using it. The fifth slot was occupied by my favorite ghost type, Mismagius, and everyone's favorite Nessie, Lapras. I honestly was just scrolling through my PC of Pokemon I owned, and for whatever reason, I thought Mismagius and Lapras could go well together. I was definitely right. The sprite was created by Mammoth Use Ursaluna. Mismagius goes well with a lot of other different Pokemon too, but this design just stuck out. I love that it still has Mismagius' hat, and its little purple things it has in its initial design as fins. Its spot for a surfer is also a giant red gem, which matches the entire color scheme of the design perfectly. It sports the Ghost and Ice typing, and it has Lapras' special bulk, along with some pretty nice special attack. With the move pool Mismagius and Lapras have, I was able to create a pretty solid moveset in my opinion. Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, Thunder, and Teleport. Teleport and Infinite Fusion is like Fly, so I use that. However, if I had to decide on a move that wasn't Teleport, it would definitely be Psychic or Dazzling Gleam. It has an amazing design though, and probably in my top 3 designs for Pokemon I used on my team. And the last fusion on my team, and of course my favorite one, is Gervor, which is Gardevoir and Jirachi. As a lot of you may know, Gardevoir is one of my favorite Pokemon. I talk about it a lot in my videos. Not to mention, the Infinite Fusion community also loves Gardevoir, and there were some amazing designs. But I ultimately decided on a Jirachi fusion. Jirachi was so unexpected for me, because I went to the hotel in Fuchsia City, slept, and all of a sudden I was back in my room in Pallet Town. I woke up, went to Professor Oak's lab, and when I got there, Jirachi was Professor Oak. After Jirachi Oak kicked my ass, I woke up and found Jirachi in my party. I hope I can find footage for this because I forgot to record it. What a trip though. With that, the design is amazing, capturing Gardevoir's body with Jirachi's color scheme. And the little cosmic glitter it has in its hand really captures that cosmic vibe. It's mainly a special attacker, but with Jirachi's base 100 stats across the board, it actually balances out Gervor pretty well. The moveset I went with was Moonblast, Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, and Flash Cannon. Not to mention, it also has Serene Grace. So this Majestic Fusion was a lot of fun to use. I know I've barely scratched the surface for Gardevoir fusions, and I cannot wait to see more. So that was the team I used to beat the Pokemon League. But during my Johto run, I changed up my team a little bit. I swapped out Infersor for something pretty classic I'm sure a lot of you guys have thought of in your Pokemon lives. During your Johto run, you can make a trip back to Kanto to the Cerulean Cave. And if you've played the original Kanto games, you know what's lying there. Mewtwo. Mewtwo has a sick as fuck design and is one of the best legendary Pokemon out there. For all of the Gen 1ers out there, I had to do this fusion of Charizard and Mewtwo, 2 of Gen 1's classic titans. The results were this, Mewizard. I didn't want to change up my team, but then I realized Mewtwo was an option and I couldn't resist. I thought Charizard could be interesting, and damn was I right. If you guys have watched Pokemon the first movie, you can see a resemblance to the clone Charizard Mewtwo created. At least that's what I see with the purple stripe going over its face. Mewtwo's color scheme on Charizard's body is perfect. As you can see, its special attack is busted too. And with the dope typing of Fire and Psychic alongside Mewtwo's move pool, this fusion has some power to work with. Psychic, Flamethrower, Energy Ball, and Shadow Ball. Chef's kiss for everything. Well, that was my team for Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I love Pokemon fusions, and I really enjoyed my experience playing this game. What's amazing about a game like this is the replay value it has. With over 200,000 combinations possible, the possibilities are endless. And I know I'm probably going to be playing this as a randomizer again very, very soon. What do you guys think of my team in fusions though? If you've played Pokemon Infinite Fusions, what's your favorite fusion? Let me know down below. I'll also put the Pokemon Infinite Fusion Discord server in the description below as well, so you guys can go and check it out for yourselves.